Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is potentially to divulge the person who is the second to be charged out of the 3 arrested for the firebombing attack on several properties in a car connected to Keir Starmer. Now, the reason I say potentially is, as usual, we are getting fed very little information and there's a void. And the only information we have been given is the guy's name, which is Stanislav Carpiuc. I believe that's how you pronounce his surname. He's allegedly 26-year-old, been living in Romford, and he's described by some channels as being Romanian. That's it. End of story. Nothing else to see. Bit bizarre that this guy's been arrested, charged, and there is still 0 photographs of him on the mainstream media. So I've done a bit of digging, and I am perfectly accepting of the notion that I might have the wrong guy. So I'm just put that out there right at the start, so nobody can go, you were wrong if he turns out to be somebody slightly different. However, he's the only Stanislav Carpiuc that you can find on the internet. And he's been living in London. So we know we've got the right name, we've got a guy that lives in the right city, and a guy who appears to be approximately the same age, 26. So, until proven otherwise, I'm going along with it's probably him. Not 100%, but probably him. The reason I'm putting these caveats on is very simple. I like to be the guy that gives you information that you can take to the bank. Just accept it's true, because Big Craig said. This instance, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm having to tell you that. But probability is, it's very likely. So this guy I found on a site. Now again, I'm perfectly accepting that this could be a false flag. This could be something that's been set up 10 minutes before I found it, right? However, it's got enough details there in the photographs to suggest it's not. It still could be fake. AI is a wonderful thing. I get all of that. However, on a site called Starmer, which appears to be a site where if you want to be an actor or a model, you can put like a CV and try and get work from it. And we have a Stanislav Carpiuc. And about me, it tells you little bits of information. Born in the west of Ukraine in a small town called Chervenista. Now, folks say, well, the paper says Romanian. Well, one, they might be wrong, or two, they might be right. If they are right, just because you were born in Ukraine doesn't mean you are Ukrainian. Could be from Romanian descent. The thing that's weird about the Ukraine tie-in is obviously the first guy who was arrested was Ukrainian. We've already had that. Even his dad's told us he was a proud Ukrainian. So that's a wee bit of a grey area with this one. But it's still possible. And then we have some photographs of young Stanislav. And this little video that I'm just about to play for you, where he introduces himself.
My name is Stanislav Carpiuc. I'm from the city of London, and when I'm not acting, I enjoy long walk in the park with my dog, Beam.
Okay, so we've got a video of the guy who looks the age that been described as in the mainstream, and we'll get several photographs of him in varying poses, which the nicest way to say it, I think, would be not normal ways you would expect a 26-year-old boy to be posing, but might be his preference. So I'm not going to get drawn into conversations possibly about the boy's sexuality. I'm not going to get drawn into possibilities on the boy's type of occupation and how he may be available to rent. I'm not going to suggest any of that. All I'm going to do is say there's a lot of similarities appearing with the first guy. And if this Stanislav that I've found is indeed Romanian, he just was born in Ukraine, or the description of him being Romanian is inaccurate and he's also Ukrainian, then that's another odd thing that ties him to the first guy who was charged, who appears to be a 21-year-old boy who makes a lewd living and all that goes along with that. There has been 3 people arrested. Up until now, we are unsure of any details of the third person. Possibly through time, we'll find out about him, but it looks to me as if these 2 are the people, at least charged, alleged to have petrol bombed 2 properties in a motor car with connections to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And as I said yesterday when I was on Sean Atwood's channel, I find this bloody weird, right? If under normal circumstances, anybody that was in the top 10 leaders of the world, and the UK is certainly one of them, you would have by now had journalists out interviewing neighbours, interviewing school teachers, interviewing people that went to school with them, worked with them. All these things would have been done as a matter of course. Staying up to date with events around the world can be difficult, where it's impossible to consult a single source for the full story. Narratives that shape public opinion often just reinforce media and corporate-backed vested interests. It's hard to know what information to trust. See what the media is exaggerating, sensationalising, over or under reporting. That's why I've been using Ground News. Ground News is an app and website that combines news from around the world in one place so you can compare coverage. For every news source, you can see if it has any political bias, how reliable the reporting is, and who owns them. They even have a blind spot feed that highlights news disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum. Take a data-driven view on the news and stay current. Get news from thousands of sources worldwide in one place. I've been using Ground News to help me get all the world's news in one place and give a more balanced opinion on what we read and viewing who is telling us the truth and who isn't. Subscribe via my link to get 40% off the Vantage subscription. It's the one I use to get unlimited access to every feature. Your subscription can not only help my channel, but also help Ground News, as it makes the media landscape more transparent. But yet again, with this story, and some similar stories, nothing, zero, basic details, basically the stuff you could find from a court roll about somebody who's at court for whatever reason. You know, the most basic of court reporters could find out the information that we have on these 2 suspects out of 3 who have threatened the life of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, one of the top 10 leadership roles in the world. And nobody is doing much to tell us, the British citizens, what's going on. This is either one of 2 things, possibly 3, I'm just not bright enough to think of the second. But this is either a threat, and a serious threat, to the security of our country when a head of state has been targeted in this manner. And we should all have something to know about it and be afraid of if people are trying to assassinate our head of state. Or it's something on a more personal and private level, in which case it's not really a thing to have the nation worried or concerned, but we would still want to know, well, what's going on in this guy's life, that he's got this thing that's totally personal, totally private, that's led to 3 people being arrested for arson to try and damage property owned and connected to him. It's all rather bizarre. But I will try and keep my ear to the ground as much as possible and share anything that I come by, because I do believe the good people of the United Kingdom deserve to know the truth at all times, regardless of how unsavoury it is to us, or regardless of how unsavoury it may be to people, and I include the Prime Minister in that. If you want other people to see this video, do 1, 2 or 3 of the following things. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and put some comments below. That'll help drive it into more people's timelines. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. But, as I say at the end of all my videos, the most important thing, unless you're the type of people who are trying to petrol bomb a leader of the free world, or leader, not the leader, a leader of the free world, or those who are trying to keep the details of such away from the concerned British public, then not you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.